Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Amid protests and calls to resign, Chief Craig stands by his officers involved in this incident, with protesters saying that car was under attack and those officers' lives were in danger.
Governor Whitmer rolls out her plan for students to return to school in the fall, but it is going to depend on a lot of factors when it does actually happen.
But we begin with the two numbers that has the governor concerned, and both are up significantly over yesterday. In the past 24 hours, 32 deaths have been reported, and along with that, 373 new COVID-19 cases have been diagnosed.
Important to note, testing numbers have increased just slightly over the past few days to an average of 15,000 per day.
And it's that uptick that has Governor Whitmer holding off on taking the state to phase 5.
She says she is worried about that uptick that we've seen in East Lansing, which originated at Harper's Bar, and it's now put that entire area into a higher risk zone. Check out this graphic she used showing that, proving that some of the parts of our state are kind of moving backwards. We bring in Jason Colthorpe live tonight with the governor pulling back on the throttle just a bit here, Jason.
Yeah, and that's becoming a trend, those numbers, a backward trend, and I think the governor looking around at what's happening in other parts of the country and maybe just wants to be cautious here, because we look at today's numbers, 373 cases. That was the second highest for the month. And this trend kind of got started about a week ago, exactly a week ago, when we saw 221 cases pop up, and that was considered an uptick at the time. The very next day, it jumped up to 323, and then the following 2 days, even higher than that, setting new peaks. Ultimately, the high for the month came on Friday. In a precarious little trend here, obviously, and the governor had this to say about it.
We are constantly looking at the data. I had said, when Michigan was that green beacon and a sea of red across the country, that my hope was that we would be into phase 5 by the 4th of July. That's not going to happen. So I just think we need to take that off the table right now. The numbers that we're seeing are increasing across the state. Does it mean that we have to rethink and reanalyze and perhaps take a more conservative approach? Maybe, but I'm not announcing that today.
The announcement actually could come in the next 24 to 48 hours. The governor going to take some time to look at how things might change in all of this. But some other good pieces of news: people can now visit their loved ones at long-term care facilities and juvenile justice centers. The long-term care facilities include nursing homes, hospice care, and any long-term adult care facilities. So we're looking at that, but you can bet they're going to be looking at what's happening in other parts of the country and making sure Michigan doesn't want to make a misstep that might set us way back. We're reporting live. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Yeah, good breakdown there. All right, Jason. And with bars and restaurants back open, health officials are worried about seeing the lack of social distancing and overcrowding in those places. Hank Winchester, our consumer investigator, has been following that part of the story. We'll have new video showing us the problem coming up at 5:30.
Now to our other big story, Governor Whitmer rolling out her plan to restart school in the fall.
Let's look at the very broad strokes here so far. Schools will need to develop 3 separate plans depending on which phase the state is in, and that includes fully remote learning. We know where that is and what that's like. In-person learning with strict protocols, and finally a more relaxed plan for phase 5. But the bottom line is kids and parents need to be ready for school in the fall.
The My Safe Schools roadmap will provide significant detail on what is required and what is strongly recommended in each phase. We cannot predict precisely how this virus will change in the weeks or months ahead, but we are going to do everything we can to increase the likelihood that we start and stay in a phase of the pandemic that enables in-person instruction.
And there are certainly a lot of points to the governor's plan and a lot of opinions about it, too.
No doubt. Let's get to Steve Garagiola as the reaction starts to come in. Steve?
Yeah, a lot of reaction from parents, teachers, everybody. I spoke with Paula Herbart, who's president of the MEA. MEA represents about 120,000 educators across the state. She says one thing is consistent, and that is everybody wants to get students back in school safely.
This plan allows for that to happen in a safe way for students and educators, for families and communities.
The challenge starts with limiting the number of students together at any given time.
We're looking at having lower class sizes, ensuring there is enough social distancing between desks.
And then there's the issue of face covering. The parents I've talked with are, let's just say, skeptical.
Kids don't social distance. And the younger they get, the worse it gets.
You're expecting these kids to come in and sit 6 feet apart. There's absolutely no way you're going to have a mask on the head. Somebody's going to be shooting a mask because it's got elastic on it.
Elementary school students will have a different criteria than upper elementary school students when it comes to PPE, etc. But what I know is true is that in order for us to return to school buildings, we're going to have to follow these minimum guidelines.
The great challenge for parents is that they must make decisions without any clear answers as to what lies ahead.
We've gone this far, and it's really only been 4 months. What's going to happen in the next 4 months?
I worry every day about it, and I'm considering not sending my special needs child back to school.
I am not a scientist. I am not a medical expert. I'm not a politician. I have no stake in what the outcome is here other than the fact that I want people to be safe and alive.
And shouldn't that be everybody's primary agenda, to keep everybody safe and alive? One of the points mentioned today was reduced class size. I talked to some teachers who said, yeah, we've been asking about that for a long time. Just how is that going to work? So we'll hear from teachers and talk about that coming up at 6. Reporting live, I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
All right, Steve, we will see you then. This is a more than 60-page document. It's a lot for districts to digest here in just this last hour or so. So we'll give them a night to get their arms around it, and we'll be sitting down with them tomorrow to get their fuller reactions to what's being done. Now, with cases rising in the majority of U.S. states, the government's medical experts again testified before a Senate committee.
They answered questions about reopening schools, wearing masks, and what can be done to turn things around. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with a closer look at their testimony and their ominous warning. Doc.
Yeah, Kim and Devin, you could definitely see the frustration on the faces of these doctors. They testified, we've learned a lot about how to help contain this virus, but too many people in too many states are just ignoring the guidelines, and that's creating a major hurdle to reopening.
I feel very strongly we need to do whatever we can to get the children back to school. So I think we are in lock agreement with that.
But Dr. Anthony Fauci said that will depend on the level of cases in each community.
The numbers speak for themselves. I'm very concerned, and I'm not satisfied with what's going on because we're going in the wrong direction.
He stressed the need for a nationwide approach.
We can't just focus on those areas that are having the surge. It puts the entire country at risk. We are now having 40,000+ new cases a day. I would not be surprised if we go up to 100,000 a day if this does not turn around.
All of the experts expressed strong support for wearing masks.
There's just more and more data showing that the use of face coverings and masks are an effective way to prevent transmission.
Fauci was especially concerned about images of young people crowded together in bars.
A congregation at a bar inside is bad news. We really got to stop that.
He urged everyone to see the recommended safety measures not as an obstruction to reopening, but as a vehicle to help us get there.
We've got to get that message out that we are all in this together. And if we are going to contain this, we've got to contain it together.
Now, the experts also expressed concern about the upcoming flu season, saying it will be critical to get more people vaccinated to reduce cases of that virus. The CDC has already purchased 7.1 million doses of flu vaccine. Normally, they buy about 500,000.
And Doc, speaking of the flu, I understand they also addressed reports of a new swine flu that's been detected in China. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, Kim, that's right. The virus is called G4. It's a new mutated version of the swine flu that's been discovered in pigs in China. Now, Dr. Fauci said it's not an immediate threat, but certainly it is something that they are watching closely. Back to you.
Indeed. Okay, Doc, thanks.
Well, they just couldn't get to her in time. A 9-year-old girl died early this morning in a house fire on Detroit's west side. It happened on Pearson Street, right in the area of Joy and Evergreen. Rod Maloney spoke with devastated neighbors and family members, heartbroken over the news.
It was a frantic and desperate scene here just before 3 o'clock this morning. Flames shooting out the front of the building. A mom and a dad inside discover it and go to work trying to get their 3 young children out of the house safely. The dad went outside to the back of the house, broke in a window with his bare hands, cutting himself terribly, but was able to pull the 5-year-old boy out to safety. It was then that the fire department arrived.
It was a huge fire.
The fire engines rocked neighbor Monique Mobley from a sound sleep, and she saw the tragedy unfold.
To see kids get hurt, it really hurts me.
Firefighters pulled 2 young girls from the flames. A 6-year-old died at the scene. Detroit Deputy Fire Commissioner Dave Fornell talked about the other successful life-saving moment of the morning.
And she actually went into cardiac arrest in the ambulance. They brought her back, and she is in a serious but stable condition at Children's.
Outside the home sat a window air conditioning unit. It operated in the area Fornell says burned most severely.
The fire was basically confined to the living room and then to the little dining room off the side. Of course, there's heavy smoke damage throughout the entire house.
The mother of the man who saved the boy is Roberta Lowe.
I just want to ask for prayers for the family, and we just gonna take it step by step.
It's just sad that all the kids didn't make it.
The American Red Cross has come by and offered its assistance to this grieving family. And in the interim, the Detroit Fire Department will continue its investigation to see whether, in fact, it was that air conditioner that may have been the cause. In Detroit, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Okay, Rod. We're just getting started here. Let's check in with Ben.
Devin, we got a warm summer night ahead of us. Temperatures down into the 70s by midnight, closing out with the 60s. But we've got one more day of 80-degree temperatures. Then the heat really arrives. We'll look at those numbers next.
COVID concerns at local bars and restaurants across Metro Detroit. What is being done right now to make sure customers are safe? Help me, Hank, tonight.
The chief is continuing to comment on the actions of one of his officers plowing through a group of protesters this past weekend.
He thought maybe he was being fired upon.
Hear the latest on what he had to say coming right up.